Hey folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. We have made it to the last zone of side quests, but first things first. Hi, this is Jewelbearer. This is one of the B ranks of Living Memory. Anyway, there's 4 side quests here. Brotherly bond, no barrier. I recognize you from the founding celebration. If I'm not the only one who got left behind, then maybe, just maybe he's still... I'm looking for my brother, you see. The two of us were hardly ever apart, which is why I'm starting to think I'll be stuck here until we're reunited. But with Yesterland like this, I'm worried about overlooking something. Would you mind coming with me? If you're able to help, just say the word. So I just realized there was no carrying quest in Solution 9. Holy buckets. You'll help me look for him. Yay! Thank you. I've already checked near the air cap station, so let's head to Bergmar Ring. Clever youngling is now accompanying you. Where are we going? Oh, we're here. Okay. Carousel you can't jump onto. The Bergmar Ring was great. It was so fun to ride and beautiful too, especially when it was all lit up. Seeing it always used to make me happy. Some of the naughty kids used to have competitions to see how far they could launch their shoes while they were riding it. Once someone accidentally sent their shoe flying right into Otis while he was on patrol. You should have seen the look on their face. It's strange seeing the place so empty now. No sign of my brother either. We should take a look near the Esperance wheels next. I remember a game some of us used to play here. 2 people would split up and ride on opposite wheels. Then when the cabins got close enough, we'd reach out and try to link hands. It was quite the stretch, and you had to do it all that while the cabins were moving. It was a miracle none of us got hurt. Apparently any pair that pulled it off would share an unbreakable bond. I was always a bit skeptical, but... Still, part of me wishes I'd given it a try with my brother. Speaking of, there's no sign of him here either. I mean, there's no sign of anyone. Thought he might have wandered this way to get a glimpse of the wheels up close, but I should have known better. No doubt he'd rather be tinkering with a ceruleum engine than taking in the sights. Wait, are you from Tuliol? What? Don't tell me you're from Tuliol too. I could have sworn I saw someone just like you when I was getting on the train that day. Does that mean people found a way to get through the barrier after I died? Come to think of it, there was another familiar face during the performance at the castle. That was Val with you, wasn't it? I wonder why I didn't recognize it at the time. Sorry, this is a lot to take in. If you have news on the outside world, pray tell me all you know. I see. Ever since we were children, my brother and I always used to have always been inseparable. When Dawn Servant Kuona first brought ceruleum to Tural, we both marveled at its potential. Together helped develop the dirigible technology that our society came to rely on. So too were we charmed by the railroads of Shaloni, but on that fateful day we parted ways. Since then, I've only known the confines of the dome. When Val took the stage with you, she appeared much as she did the day of this ascension ceremony, and as a living person no less. May I ask how Tuliol fares? People are still getting used to their new Dawn servants. The day I boarded the train, my brother decided to stay behind in Shaloni to inspect the facilities nearby. The world outside the dome is much the same as it was then. I can only assume he is alive and well. If that's the case, I suppose the search of mine was rather futile. But if he's out there, living his life to the fullest, nothing in the world could bring me more joy. The years we spent together were some of the happiest of my life. Not a moment went by that I didn't wish to return to those halcyon days. That isn't to say that the life I built here hasn't been worthwhile. I drew strength from those who met the same fate in Yasulani that day, and learned much and more from the engineers I became acquainted with. It took time, but I finally see that this period of my life was just as joyful, just as fulfilling. Were it not for the news you shared, I may have never come to this realization. Thank you. In the end, perhaps all I needed was an assurance my dear brother is alive and well. This is a hunt point down here on the southern side of the southwest island. The Canals of History. Welcome to the Guerrero Medical Collection. Forgive me for being so forthright, but I don't suppose I could ask you a small favor. The facility's medical history texts were formerly available on loan, but several borrowers have disappeared and are no longer able to return their books, hoping you'll be able to collect the outstanding monographs. Eventually, I too will be erased, and I can't imagine the collection will receive any more visitors. Nevertheless, a vast wealth of knowledge is contained within these walls, and I have every faith it will prove useful to someone, someday, hence my determination to ensure that no document is left behind. I shall search the northern side of town. I'll ask you to check the southern terrace. If you find any books that relate to medical history, I'd be grateful if you could bring them back to me. Alright, faded folio. We'll ignore the fate. The technique of stimulating the body with electrical energy to alleviate pain and other conditions has recently garnered a great deal of attention in medical circles. In more practical terms, the abundance of electrical energy means the technique is also attractive from an economic standpoint. However, concerns about the dangers of corporeal-etheric imbalance remain, not least among etheriological researchers, many of whom disapprove of the technique. A thorough study into the potential side effects of electrical treatments is clearly warranted. I don't bother jumping up into a fly for this one. Just right here. The appearance of Electrope has triggered a profound transformation in Alexandrian medicine. Indeed, it would be no exaggeration to suggest that we are on the cusp of a new epoch. Though it would be premature to dismiss the continued importance of time-honored arts such as herbology and healing magics, we must be aware that any advances made via the application of Electrope are bound to foster new techniques. Okay, I will actually fly for this one because it's over the head mint condition. When an etheric imbalance occurs within the body, a number of issues present themselves. An overabundance of lighting energy can adversely affect sight and the other senses, eventually leading to paralysis. Due to the environmental changes that occurred 400 years ago, Queen Sphene herself reportedly suffered from imbalance for the lightning energy, ultimately succumbing to her affliction. Perhaps because of this, efforts to establish a valuable treatment have historically been under attack. Excuse me. Very rude. Oh my gosh. I had a feeling this would happen too. Stupid enemies, like right here. Okay. Try that again. Have historically been approached with a degree of haste. I was right at the end too. Ah, excellent timing. I've just returned from my search. Were you able to recover any documents? Yeah, and I also beat up some birds because they got in my way. Birds are jerks. Wonderful. These were the last outstanding monographs. I can't begin to thank you enough. The Daguerre Medical Collection has always been dedicated to archiving and exhibiting the medical history of the entire continent. As well as homes and treatises, the facility is home to a whole host of artifacts, including curio and medical automata. Unless I'm now the only remaining archivist and the doors of the collection have been closed to prevent the ingress of fiends. You strike me as a more recent arrival. I would love to hear what you know of modern medical techniques. Certain conditions remain incurable. I see. Perhaps you speak of the ill effects of etheric imbalance. It saddens me to hear that no major breakthrough has been made by your time. The history of medicine is never-ending. An ailment is discovered, a treatment is devised, new techniques lead to new diagnosis, and new diagnoses require new treatments. Much like the cycle of rain to river, sea to cloud. Technological progress flows ever onwards. As techniques advance, so too does medicine, and the incurable afflictions of the present are consigned to the past. My duty is to catalog these trials and tribulations that the knowledge may spur the next breakthrough. Nothing could fill me with more pride, which is why I plan to maintain the collection until the very moment I disappear. Please accept my heartfelt thanks for everything you've done for the Daguerre Medical Collection. So this is Sally the Sweeper. This is one of the A ranks of Living Memory. And this is Cat's Eye, the other A rank of Living Memory. Limblum, we hardly knew ye. There I was, beginning to think I was the only one left. Perhaps you'd like to join me for a moment or two. This place was once something of an unending dream, but by all appearances the reverie is finally over, and well, to put it simply, I've been desperate to talk with someone. If you feel like stretching your legs, why don't you come and find me by the bridge here in Blooms of Discovery? Ah, I'm glad you came. I'll get straight to it. How familiar are you with the nation of Limblum? I know they were once at war with Alexandria. Precisely. Alexandria fought with its neighbor Limblum during the storm surge, and it was the latter who produced a dreadful weapon that wrought disaster. To focus on this period of conflict reveals a nation loathed by the people of Alexandria. Yet, for much of the nation's shared history, Limblum was simply a neighbor, albeit one with rather different customs. All this talking has put me in the mood for another wander. Come and find me when you're ready to hear the rest of my ramblings. Let's continue. Now, in many ways, a nation can be viewed as a culmination of technology and culture. Wonder where your interests lie. It's hard to pick. I consider myself a woman of culture. I see. Regardless of your affiliation, simply taking interest in such matters is to be commended. Limblum was always revered for its technological prowess. After all, this was the nation that revolutionized travel with the invention of the air cab and the airship, designs that combine magic and machine to remarkable effect. Despite such advancements, they held dear to time-honored traditions, among them the hunt. This festival of frenzied violence saw city streets awash with the blood of fiends, intentionally released as sport for brave warriors seeking to prove their skills. A nation on the forefront of technological innovation, yet steeped in the wild vestiges of its past. An interesting duality, I'm sure you'll agree. Lest we get too comfortable standing here, I suggest we make for Leynode Pyro to finish up our discussion. I'm sure you have your reasons for being here, just as I have mine. Despite that, you chose to humor this old woman. For that, you have my thanks. I've had a wonderful time talking with you. You might have gathered by now, but in my past life I taught history. When the time came to retire, I stayed true to my passions and began to study my family's past. As I traced my lineage back through the generations, I made quite a startling discovery. One of my ancestors was originally from Lindblom. She had made her way to Alexandria around the time of the storm surge. The war broke out not long after she married. As far as I could glean from the records, instead of returning to her native land, she remained in Alexandria for the rest of her life. When I discovered my connection to Lindblom, I pledged to learn more of our longtime foe. Although records were scarce, I dedicated what time I had left to my research, determined that at the very least I would remember the nation's fate. If it's not too much to ask, I'd love to hear your thoughts about everything I've told you. Gods would I'd give to take part in one of those Lindblom hunts. Oh yes, I imagine a gallant adventurer like yourself would prove quite the worthy hunter. I must apologize. Knowing that this would be my last lecture, I got a little carried away. I simply had to share this with someone. Little did I know that I'd be blessed with such an enthusiastic student. You're a kind soul indeed. May the time you have left here prove fruitful and fulfilling. Wow, the options. Those are not super interesting. Alright. One more. Leaving this place for good. Hello? I don't think I've seen you before? I'm here to collect all sorts of leaves and flowers, just like my hero. I was looking for plants to add to my collection when the fiend burst out of the bushes and chased me away. I've only just caught my breath. I know it's a lot to ask, but would you mind helping me out? I'm looking for a Nephiletta fronds in Iranaris leaves into banana leaves to be able to find everything nearby. Right. Kind of just have casual story time, right? I'm going to have another go find a bunch of different items. Well, I mean, they're nearby, but still. Let me just have something easy for once, please. I guess I had easy. It was just, that last one was just talk to a person a bunch of times. I can't complain. This really hasn't been that bad. I'm going to complain, but can't complain that much. Oh, someone actually, like, doing? I guess someone's actually doing fates. That item, no, where am I going? Item 1 just got done. Usually a good sign that someone's actually doing them if an item 1 gets done. Banana tree. Got that. And go turn it in. You're back! Did you find everything? Doop, doop, doop. Whoa, thank you so much! I'm annoyed I couldn't do it alone, but thanks to you, my living memory plant collection is complete! Have you heard of Nephiletta? People take the fronds and use them to brew a nice warming tea. One of my books says that travelers and merchants used to drink it all the time before the war. Apparently, the second type of leaf I asked you to get, the Iranaris, is really, really bitter. I heard they used it a lot and a lot of old Alexandrian dishes. People must have had different tastes back then. Then there's banana leaves. In Tyrol, they use the leaves to wrap different kinds of fillings before cooking them. Never tried it personally, but that's what my hero told me. I suppose I should tell you a little bit about her. She had the loveliest long ears and used to talk with me all the time in Heritage Found. I remember she once laughed at me for calling her Miss. She said she wasn't as young as I thought. She knew so much about plants and animals, and she told me all kinds of amazing stories about her travels. And I still remember what she said to me. Discovering new species is my life's work. I heard that and decided I'd make it my life's work too. But when I told her I wanted to go on an adventure, she said to wait until I was older and wiser and ready to stand on my own 2 feet. Well, after that, I got sick, and in the end, I guess I wasn't being realistic. I was so obsessed with the idea of collecting new plants and finding all sorts of amazing trees I forgot about my health. I've always been frail, you see. I wanted to visit Clayra too. You know, the place they named this museum after? I read that the town is built on top of a giant tree protected by swirling sandstorms. Apparently, it's on the same continent as Alexandria. Speaking of giant trees, have you ever seen any? Do my sound of Electrode. On Aloe Aloe, there are mighty trees bristling with ancient statues. I feel like this option is probably only available if you've done Aloe Aloe. So we're using it. Oh, I think I read about those statues in one of my books on the Malala. If you've seen a place like that, you must have traveled the whole wide world. I've given up on my idea of going on a big adventure, but after hearing your stories, I can't bear the thought of not living out my dream. Just you wait. One day I'll see the world and all it has to offer. After all, there's so much more out there than my books could ever tell me. Alright! We've done it. We have finished side quests in Dawntrail. Hip hip hooray! And I still need to get some experience on Red Mage. It's fine. I'd rather be under than over. I'd rather not waste some experience from side quests. So, with that done, that leaves us with roll quests. So we will be kicking off roll quests next time. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, which means I have to stare about daytime again. I probably should have cared about it for living memory, but it's still pretty bright there even at night. Relative to certain other locations. Yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider tossing a like, comment, subscribe. Maybe click the little bell for notifications. Wait, is that Gulaja? Hold up. That's 100% Gulaja. Take that, what was that for? It feels good, doesn't it? I'm soaked! You'll dry out. Is that Gulaja or is that just another Mamuja kid? Hold up. They're just gonna run around now? Might be Gulaja, but... See? All dry. Whatever. Oh, it could just be another Mamuja kid. Kinda weird he'd be out here. Anyway. Now that I'm done being distracted, thank you for watching. We will do roll quest or on roll quest next time. So, if you enjoyed the video, consider tossing a like, comment, subscribe, maybe click the bell for notifications. Also be sure to check out the description below, the various links, social media, Discord, come hang out, notifications there as well. And until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!